What if the woman laughing in court wasn't actually the most dangerous person in the room anymore? What if the real threat was hidden inside a sealed financial file no one was supposed to open? And what if Judge Lauren Whitmore was only beginning to realize that Karen Mitchell's corruption reached far beyond a few HOA fines? Because by the time this hearing ended, someone inside Willow Creek Estates would be exposed, and another person would disappear completely. The courtroom lights felt colder when proceedings resumed. The audience that had packed the gallery earlier that morning no longer looked entertained. Now they looked invested, tense waiting. Because everyone understood something important now. This was no longer just another neighborhood dispute. It had become a public unraveling, and at the center of it sat Karen Mitchell. The woman who once controlled Willow Creek Estates like a private kingdom now looked visibly shaken beneath the courtroom lights. Not defeated, not yet, but shaken enough that even the cameras could capture it. Judge Lauren Whitmore sat silently behind the bench, reviewing a thick stack of financial records. Every page she turned seemed to make the room quieter. Karen tried to steady herself. She adjusted her blazer, straightened papers that no longer mattered, forced confidence back into her posture. But fear had already begun leaking through the cracks. Lauren finally looked up. "Mrs. Mitchell," she said calmly, "before the recess, this court reviewed evidence suggesting serious misuse of homeowner association funds." Karen swallowed hard. Her attorney leaned toward her quickly and whispered something under his breath. Karen nodded nervously, then forced a smile. "Your Honor, with respect, these accusations are being exaggerated." Lauren didn't react. "Are they?" Karen cleared her throat. "Yes, absolutely." Lauren lifted another document. "Then perhaps you can explain why maintenance payments intended for community repairs were repeatedly transferred into accounts linked directly to your personal residence." The audience shifted immediately. Karen's attorney stood up fast. "Objection, Your Honor. We have not verified the authenticity of those records." Lauren's eyes moved toward him slowly. "Counselor," she said quietly, "the records came directly from state auditors." The attorney sat back down immediately. Karen's fingers tightened around the edge of the table. Lauren continued. "For nearly 8 years, residents of Willow Creek paid fines for violations ranging from lawn height to seasonal decorations." Another page turned. "According to these records, a significant percentage of those funds never entered official reserve accounts." Karen's voice cracked slightly. "I delegated most financial responsibilities." Lauren leaned back. "To your cousin." Karen froze. The room became silent again. Lauren removed her glasses carefully. "The cousin listed as HOA treasurer, despite living over 1,000 miles away." Karen's breathing became shallow. "I trusted her." Lauren nodded slowly. "I'm sure you did." Then her expression hardened. "But the people of Willow Creek trusted you." That line hit harder than shouting ever could. Even the gallery went still. Karen looked away. Lauren continued reviewing documents, then suddenly paused. Something caught her attention. A single page clipped deep inside the folder. Her eyes narrowed slightly. She pulled it free. "Read it once, then again." This time more carefully. Bailiff Marcus Reed immediately noticed the shift in her expression. After years beside Lauren's bench, he recognized that look instantly. Something unexpected had just appeared. Lauren lowered the paper slowly. "Interesting." Karen looked confused. "What?" Lauren didn't answer immediately. Instead, she held up the document. "Mrs. Mitchell." Her tone changed subtly. "Why does this financial statement include payments to a private security company?" Karen blinked rapidly. "That was neighborhood protection." Lauren scanned the page again. "Protection from what?" Karen hesitated. "Vandalism, trespassing, property concerns." Lauren's eyes narrowed further. "The company received over $90,000 in 2 years." Gasps spread through the courtroom. Karen's attorney immediately stood again. Your Honor, private security contracts are common within homeowner associations. Lauren cut him off instantly. Not when the company doesn't legally exist. Silence. Pure silence. Karen stopped breathing for a moment. Lauren lifted the page again. There is no active business license connected to this company. Another page flipped. No tax filings. Another. No employees. Then Lauren looked directly at Karen. So I'll ask again. Her voice lowered. Who exactly were you paying? Karen opened her mouth, but no answer came out. The audience exchanged nervous glances. Marcus Reed folded his arms tightly near the courtroom wall. Lauren stared at Karen for several long seconds, then finally spoke again. I think we need to expand this conversation. Karen's attorney looked alarmed now. Your Honor, my client is here regarding HOA disputes, not criminal allegations. Lauren nodded once. That may have been true this morning. Then she placed the mysterious document flat on her desk. But it no longer appears to be the case. Outside the courtroom, things were already getting worse. Reporters crowded the courthouse hallways, news alerts exploded online. HOA president under investigation during live court hearing. Judge Lauren uncovers possible fraud. Willow Creek financial scandal deepens. Clips of Karen's earlier arrogance had already gone viral, but now something else was spreading: fear. Because residents watching from home were beginning to realize something horrifying. Their money might not be the only thing stolen. Back inside court, Lauren turned toward Lillian Cortez. Mrs. Cortez, she said gently, during your years in Willow Creek, did you ever notice unusual security activity in the neighborhood? Lillian looked uncertain. Sometimes. Lauren nodded. Explain. Lillian glanced nervously toward Karen, then took a breath. There were cameras everywhere. Karen immediately interrupted. For resident safety. Lauren ignored her. Lillian continued. Not normal cameras. Lauren tilted her head slightly. What do you mean? Lillian hesitated again. People started noticing cars parked outside homes late at night. The audience listened carefully now. Security workers would photograph properties. Another pause. And sometimes people. Lauren's eyes sharpened. People? Lillian nodded slowly. If someone argued with the HOA, she swallowed hard. Karen always seemed to know personal things afterward. A ripple of discomfort spread through the courtroom. Lauren leaned forward slightly. What kind of personal things? Lillian looked down. Financial problems. Another pause. Medical issues. Another, marriage problems. Karen suddenly slammed her hands against the table. This is ridiculous. Lauren's voice sliced through the room instantly. Sit down. Karen froze. Lauren stared directly at her. You are dangerously close to losing the ability to speak in this courtroom at all. Karen slowly lowered herself back into her chair. But panic was visible now. Real panic. Lauren turned back toward Lillian. Did anyone ever formally complain about this surveillance? Lillian nodded. Yes. Who? A long silence followed. Then quietly, Thomas Avery. Karen's face drained of color instantly. Lauren noticed immediately. Who is Thomas Avery? Lillian answered carefully. He used to be on the HOA board. Another silence. He disappeared last year. The courtroom erupted with whispers. Lauren's expression darkened immediately. Disappeared. Karen jumped in quickly. He resigned. Lauren looked toward her sharply. Did I ask you a question? Karen fell silent again. Lauren returned her attention to Lillian. What exactly happened to Mr. Avery? Lillian looked nervous now. I don't know. Another pause. But after he started questioning Karen about missing funds, she looked toward Karen again. He suddenly moved away. Lauren's voice became quieter. Without telling anyone, Lillian nodded slowly. Yes. The room felt colder now. Lauren leaned back slowly in her chair, thinking, processing, because this was no longer financial misconduct alone. Something much darker was beginning to emerge. Karen sensed it too. And for the first time since entering court, she looked genuinely afraid. Lauren requested another short recess, but this one felt different. The atmosphere had changed completely. Marcus Reed followed Lauren into chambers immediately. The door closed behind them. Lauren placed the financial folder onto her desk heavily. Marcus crossed his arms. "You think she's hiding more?" Lauren looked toward the sealed documents. "I know she is." Marcus frowned. "You really think someone disappeared over HOA money?" Lauren remained silent for several seconds, then finally answered. "People don't create fake companies for landscaping funds." She tapped the mysterious payments. $90,000 doesn't vanish accidentally. Marcus looked uneasy now. Lauren continued quietly. "And frightened people don't react the way Karen just did unless they're terrified of something becoming public." Marcus lowered his voice. "You think this goes beyond fraud?" Lauren's expression hardened. "I think we just found the wrong file." Meanwhile, inside the nearly empty courtroom, Karen Mitchell sat motionless at the plaintiff's table. Her attorney whispered urgently beside her. But she barely heard him, because her eyes remained fixed on the courtroom doors waiting, terrified. And somewhere deep inside, Karen realized something horrifying. Judge Lauren Whitmore wasn't investigating her anymore. She was hunting for someone else. Someone Karen had spent years protecting. Then suddenly, Karen's phone vibrated inside her purse. She looked down quickly. One new message, unknown number. Only 4 words. "Say nothing, or else." Karen's face turned white. And across the courtroom, Bailiff Marcus Reed noticed immediately.